Macmillan Audio presents You Only Call When You're in Trouble, written by Mccauley, narrated for you by André Santana. To Jonathan Strong. Thus far, Dorothy had written her daughter 3 versions of the email inviting her to the opening of her retreat center in Woodstock, New York, but she hadn't had the nerve to send any of them. In each message, she'd said that, along with wanting Cecily at the gala, the term her business partner had insisted upon using, she needed to talk with her. "There's something important I'm finally ready to tell you," she'd written in the first draft. Direct and honest, but she'd chickened out before sending it. Too ominous in tone. Cecily would think she had a terminal disease. "There's something you and I need to discuss," had been the second version. After reading it a third time, Dorothy was troubled by the pretentious ring. It sounded almost like she was about to scold Cecily. In 34 years, she'd never once scolded Cecily. That was for more conventional, disciplinary, and, let's face it, boring mothers. She couldn't stand the suggestion that she was about to start now. When she composed and rejected the third and most watered-down version, "I'd love for us to chat," Dorothy had to admit her main concern wasn't Cecily's reaction, but her own misgivings. Bringing up the topic in even the most obtuse way induced a flutter of anxiety that was akin to a heart palpitation, a symptom she now knew too well. At this hour of morning, the sunlight that poured through the huge new window Dorothy had installed in the building she'd bought almost a year ago was blinding. Everyone who walked into the place praised it and raved about the light. There was that, but the truth was, she preferred rooms in which the weather and the time of day were easy to avoid or ignore. When she lived outside Boston, she'd sometimes sneaked off to the casino in Connecticut and spent a day or two there. She'd always been drawn to gambling, but more than anything, she loved being in a place where time didn't exist. She shouldn't have let her designer friends talk her into this expensive addition. Because she had, she'd do what she'd always done. Fake loving it in the hope that, eventually, she really would. That hadn't worked with her first boyfriend, or her ex-husband, but it had been an effective strategy with Sushi and T.S. Eliot. She repositioned her laptop to face away from the sun, and tried the email again. Finally telling her daughter the truth about her father was the right thing to do. It was time. Cecily had been with the same boyfriend for a few years now, and at some point they might get married and have a baby. People cared about DNA these days, especially when it revealed interesting roots. That one drop of Egyptian blood that connected you directly to Cleopatra. Cecily had a right to know hers. No royalty in their background that Dorothy knew of, but certainly an element of the unexpected. The problem was that Dorothy was proud of how honest and blunt she'd always been with Cecily, right from childhood. It had been the guiding principle of her relationship with her. She'd talked with her daughter about her problems with men, her use of drugs, Tom's, her brother and Cecily's uncle, sexuality, even the love affairs of the assorted people who sometimes stayed with them. She'd always treated Cecily like a much younger friend. Telling her now that she'd known the identity of her father all along and, obviously, how to contact him would be an admission of her having lied about this crucial piece of information for decades. She hated to paint herself as a liar, especially as a result of telling the truth. She couldn't bear the thought of turning Cecily against her. She read over the email yet again. She had to send this off. The opening party— the word gala had the same cringe factor for her as townhome— was in 2 weeks, and she'd promised Fiona—
Sample complete. Ready to continue?